course, medical assistance was really important too, because these guys had no doctors and they were being shot on a daily basis.
You took over an Al-Qaeda training camp with members of the Northern Alliance.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, there was a series of camps, and you hear a lot about El Farouk camp, but the camp that you see here was called Mir Bachakat. It was about an hour north of Kabul, and it was the most important of all the Al-Qaeda camps because this is the only one that they practiced speaking English in. This is the one that they spoke English and designated American targets.
So you took it over, and then you found these videotapes of various training exercises. Tell me how you found the tapes in the first place.
Well, some of them were found in the commander's house when we got to the commander's house. It was the first place we wanted to go, and along with that we found documents. But a couple of them were taken by other soldiers, and we went up and went after them for about 2 months before we recovered a whole series. It was a set of 7 tapes.
Were you surprised that they had these tapes, and how did they use them? Obviously for training purposes, but you told me before, during the commercial break, that they loved watching these.
Oh yeah, they love taping and they love watching the tapes. And you can hear them on the tapes. They laugh, you know, when they're doing school assaults and when they have the kids screaming. The Al-Qaeda cameramen are laughing. I mean, they're just having a blast watching this terror.
Well, apparently it shows a number of exercises, as I said, I guess mock assaults, if you will. And one is apparently an assault on a school. I think we have that videotape, and maybe you can explain what we're seeing.
Yeah, this is what we call an integrated assault. And they're rappelling down onto the building. It could be either an office building, school, but they have a cafeteria in it. You have your kids crying. Now you'll hear them as they go through the rooms. They'll start yelling, don't move, get down. So you're using English commands in here. And what is interesting about this is the same kind of practice that, and not as high a level, obviously, but the same type of dry fire, live fire practice that Special Forces uses in their early training phases.
I know you said, Jack, that there's an even more haunting video that has a blackboard. What does that show?
They have a blackboard, and that was the one that was on Dateline with Chris, was a blackboard. They had balloons as the teacher targets, and they would come in and shoot the blackboard, and then in one of the camps, there were chairs with 50, 60 bullet holes through every back of every chair.
And was there any indication on the tapes that this was something that was being planned against the United States or anywhere in the world? Was there any sort of geographic specificity to these tapes?
Well, they had English grammar lessons on the boards, and that kind of indicated that it was definitely for the Western world. I don't think Canada was a target, so that probably meant the U.S., England.
Another chilling scene shows terrorists, Al-Qaeda terrorists, ambushing a motorcade. As we look at that, let me ask you about their level of sophistication. You said this was very much what Special Forces used in terms of their training.